Now we're going to talk a little bit about Econ 101. Okay. Do you guys know who Arthur Laffer is? He was Reagan's economic advisor. I know I'm going back too far, but that's not the issue. The issue is what is happening to this country I've been in this country, I don't know, 33, 35 years. Went to college. This country has given me everything I have, which I'm totally appreciative of and respectful of. But they started something called trickle down economics. You guys remember that? They said if the top rich get richer, right? So what's going to happen is we're going to take this bottle of wine and then put it on the top glass, and then it's going to trickle down and fill up all the glasses going down. Well, Fed, no, it didn't happen. What happened? Over years now, we know the top 1% owns 95% of the assets of this country. So what happened is exactly what I'm showing to you guys in this picture. You keep filling the glass up top while nothing is trickling down. The glass up top is getting larger. And look at the one on the third one. The glass up top is full, but still getting larger and larger, and nothing is trickling down. Our economy is set up in a way that nothing will trickle down. Okay. There'll be some few lucky ones that just, figured the game out. Education is completely necessary, although I am completely now have changed my mind about education. I'm talking college, which I think it's a complete scam now. Okay.
Agreed.
We're putting our kids into school and they're coming out with $200,000, $300,000 in student loans. In what part of the world?
They can never get a job in.
Yeah, and they're going to get a $50,000 a year job. And again, why are we sending kids to college? People go, oh, you must go to college. It's like Starbucks marketing. You don't have to go to college. Not everybody is supposed to go to college. Okay. First of all, in my days, if you had a regular 4-year undergrad degree, you were somebody. Then that changed. Nobody cares about your undergrad. You have to have, right, a master's degree. Now, nobody cares about master's degree. I know people with masters and PhDs out there working for minimum wage. Okay. Complete scam. And in my opinion, again, you guys may like it or not like it, but this is what happened to this country. And this continues to happen to this country. And I'm going to keep talking about these issues a lot because it hurts my children. It's going to hurt your children. It's going to hurt Chris's children. He's got 3. Well, 1 coming up. This is not a joke. This is happening. Right. And I'm going to show you guys charts going forward in Power Hours or other videos that over the years, how wealth accumulation of transfer of wealth has changed. Why has that happened? Why isn't the bottom glass not getting full? It's never will, because it's rigged that way. Again, I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist. I was on Wall Street, but I like effective altruism. That's why I'm doing this here. Okay. Paid forward, assholes in Washington, right? Stop doing this. Okay. You know who the top glass is, Chris? Nancy Pelosi. That's her fucking glass right there. That's her glass right there. Yeah. Right. Okay. So without me getting too hot, I have a tendency getting hot about these issues. I don't want to get hot because this video is going to go out on its own in probably a couple days. So this is what's happening right now. This is from the Fed page that I showed you guys how I start my day. Okay. Fed, Federal Reserve Economic Data. Right now. This is why this is happening, by the way. Okay. 50 years ago, we had an economy that produced stuff. We made stuff. We had great white collar, blue collar jobs, right? With this, when this started, right? What happened? This started happening. You know what happened? We shipped all the jobs, overseas because labor is cheaper. They work for a bowl of rice. No offense to anybody who's in that part of the world. And, labor is cheaper and all the jobs got shipped. So what did we become? We become a consumer, spending economy. We just spend. We spend what we don't have. We just spend. And who is facilitating that? The credit cards, the banks, they give you shit. You go out of college, 18 years old, they give you a $10,000 credit card. And what do you do with that? You go spend it. Okay. Well, this is what happens. So this is from 2016 to 2020. I'll show you guys a couple more about this. These are all on Fred, by the way. That's why I watch Fred. I want to see what's happening to credit card debt, revolving debt, personal savings, all these things, right? So from 2016 all the way to 2020, look at that debt. The blue line is the debt, consumer loans. We just keep borrowing money, just like the big brother is doing. We keep borrowing money and spending it, borrowing it and blowing it, putting it on fire. Okay. As a capitalist, I shouldn't be saying this. I do borrow money, but I borrow money that I can afford to pay back. I don't borrow money that I'm just going to eat. And, a lot of people now these days are buying their food on their credit cards. I'm like, in what planet do we live in? This is ridiculous, right? Anyway, so what happens? The black swan event that I talked about last week happened in 2020. What was that? COVID, right? So government starts printing money, $5 trillion worth to save all the garbage companies out there. And then what? So you guys see all these lines moving around. So pay attention. The blue line is the consumer credit and revolving debt. The red line, okay, is the personal savings rate. As you guys can see, all that's happening is from 2016 to 2020, we don't save money, right? We make our paycheck, we put it all in something, right? And then we keep spending. So our gross domestic product in this country has become from a manufacturing base to a spending base. We spend money. We spend money on shit that we don't need, but we do. And we became a service economy as opposed to a manufacturing economy, right? Who's one of the best manufacturing economies in Europe, let's say? Germany. Amazing, right? And going back to the college thing, you know what the Germans do? Because I finished high school in Germany. You know what they do? They don't encourage people to go to college. Literally, on second year of high school, a lot of recruiters from vocational schools come to your school and test you to see if you're college material. And they put them in vocational schools. Like, you want to become a plumber, an electrician, an air conditioning contractor, I don't know, a drywall contractor. We need these people. Not everything can be done on the internet, right? I don't think I can fix my toilet on the internet yet, right? But that's the way we went. That's when Facebooks and Googles and Apples and all these companies came around, right? So all we do is spend. We just spend. We borrow and we spend, just like the government's doing, up to $34 trillion in debt, right? Anyway, so COVID hits. What happens? Government starts printing money. Everybody's at home. What are they doing? We're not spending money. Economy is about to go into the shithole of shitholes. Well, what do? We go, okay, we're going to give everybody money. Unemployment, obviously, even Uber and Lyft drivers got money because they're sitting home. They're not making any money, right? Okay. So we print the money. This time, actually, it's going to the correct places, which is going to the people, as opposed to, the rich 1%. So what happens? Look at 2020. The blue line crashes. Because we're home, we can't go out there and spend money, and the government's giving us money. It's the first time in the last 30 years since trickle down started, this happened. A lot of people paid their credit card debts off, pay their mortgages off, right? With the government money that we're getting, and I'm going to talk about UBI, which is Universal Basic Income, later on probably. Not today, but, in other shows. So we paid all our debt off. Look at this, right? Consumer debt collapsing, saving rates going through the roof. Amazing. That's the way it should be. Actually, the red line and the blue line should switch places. That's the way it should be, everybody's budget. But then COVID ended, right? And what did we start doing again? Chris, we start spending again.
And that money.
This. Yeah, we start spending the money we don't have. Look at the savings rate. Look where we are. This is 2020. I'm going to show you a current chart with the projections. Now, the money we're borrowed is more than it was in 2020. Is this good? This is shit. This is horrible. And here it is. Look at this projection. This is all from Fred, by the way, and this is actually JP Morgan. Look, same chart, right? But look at the projections. Right, the two spikes, right, is Fiscal transfer that came from the government because we didn't go to work, we didn't get paychecks, we got laid off, all that stuff. Government was printing money, giving it to the people, which was fine, I guess. But then nobody learned their lesson, right? And it peaked right when we were coming out of COVID. And look at the totally right side of that, where now we're in the orange area and where the forecast is. Our savings went through the roof. We paid our debts off. And then what do? We go spend, and look where we are now in 2023. And the forecast is in 2024 that our savings rates are going to be lower than ever in the history of this country. People, please don't do this. Don't do this. This is stupid. Don't do this. Don't run your household budget like the government does. Okay? They have a machine that they can print with. Can you guys print? Can I print? Can I put zeros in my bank account? No. Hard work, trading, whatever the heck I do, I have to do to pay my bills. If you did this, you deserve to be where you are. Okay? So savings are back to lower than what they were forever. And, we keep spending money. And this is one last thing. This is from Fred. Latest data. This is from the horse's mouth. You guys see the red line going back to 2000? Okay, 2004, right? That is consumer loans, credit cards, and other revolving plans, all commercial banks, from all banks, small, big, large, whatever bank you're working with. Look at that trajectory of that thing. Okay? Look at that trajectory. We keep spending, borrowing and spending. And COVID hit, the two spikes, as you guys can remember. This is from the horse's mouth. This is from the Federal Reserve. So Federal Reserve, why do you keep printing then? Because the more you print, the more that red line is going to go through the roof to the upper right-hand corner. We don't want that. But anyway, so this is my rant for the day. You guys will watch this video. Mary B says, I'm debt-free and very proud of it. Mary B, congrats.
Good job, Mary. One thing I gotta say is people have to learn to stop spending money that they don't have, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, we just spend and spend and spend. Every year, the new iPhone comes out in September.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta get the new iPhone. You can't just stretch it out. Like, I used to be like that, where it's like, oh, I gotta have the latest thing. And then it's like I stepped back and I said, wait a minute. Why do I need to have those things to make it doesn't make me happy? It's just having the latest and greatest thing. It doesn't mean anything to me. So now, like, I don't have the latest and greatest phone. I mean, I actually have the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but that's because my other phone, I needed to actually upgrade it because of the battery and, a couple other things that was going on with it. But I'm on a much longer cycle now. And even when it comes to buying things, minus like going out and getting food, restaurants and stuff like that, because you still want entertainment. But when it comes to actual physical objects and stuff, it's like, if I'm not using it for myself or to make money with, which means like my camera gear and all of the stuff that I'm doing when it comes to YouTube or anything related to that, then I don't really look at it anymore unless as something that I need or our family needs. And that's what people need to do. It's like, oh, we get a little scratch on something. Oh, let's throw it out and let's get something new. No, let's actually fix it and, continue on with it. So it's like clothing. I have clothes that are like 8-10 years old. My wife is like, why do you have clothes that long? It's like, because they're still okay. They still are good. And, it's fine. So I'll still wear them. I'll wear them until they start falling apart. And then at that point, then I'll go grab a new one. But it's like,
that used to be the case, right? Like, if something breaks in our house, if a washing machine breaks, we used to get it fixed, right? What do we do now? We throw it away and then we just buy a new one because it's cheaper to buy the new one for a lot of people, right? But then they can afford it because they have the credit cards. They put the plastic down and they buy it. I mean, no, you don't need it. Get it fixed. Maybe it'll be cheaper. Look into it, right? But we don't even think about it. And that's unfortunately, by the way, that's the way we're treating our relationships and marriages these days. You know what the divorce rate in this country is, Chris? It just broke 50%. It just broke 50%.
Well, yes and no. That's a skewed statistic because it's taking all marriages within that year. So let's say there was 1 million marriages in 23. They're saying
no, I'm not saying about, no, I wasn't talking about.
It's not a cumulative number. So it's,
I get that.
The reality is the divorce rate is probably like still 1% at most when it comes to cumulative marriages.
I get that. However, the reason
I
in
hate when
finance,
people bring up that statistics because it's completely
no,
skewed.
but
It's not even relevant.
I get that. But what is the reason for a lot of divorces, Chris? It's finances,
Money.
right?
Yep.
If you keep borrowing money and doing stupid shit with it, and then shit falls apart, and then now you are where you are.